Welcome to Beyond the Press Release, a production of Gore Column in which we take the time to speak with small cap executives after they put out big news. And with us today, because they keep putting out big news, literally it's records every time we talk, is Jason Williams, CEO of Kidoz, trades in Canada under the stock symbol KIDZ, and for our friends in the US under KDOZF. For those new to the story, here's all you need to know. Kidoz owns the biggest mobile advertising platform for kids and families. How big? There are almost 4,000 apps around the world using Kidoz, reaching over 300 million kids. And their work with top brands, including Disney, McDonald's, Hasbro, you name it. More than just lip service. Look at the revenue growth, guys. 2017, 1.9 million. 2018, 3 million. 2019, 4.5. 2020, 7.1. And 2021, $12.4 million. So the company's delivering, and they're giving you revenue guidance of 2022 of between 19 and $21 million. Let's call that $20 million. So the company is absolutely delivering, and they just announced a record Q1. Jason, welcome back, my friend.
Thank you, George. Great to be here.
Hey, great to have you back on. It's literally record revenue every time we talk. This quarter, 2.28. I'm just kind of rounding there. 2.28, yep. Up 47%.
Correct.
You guys just continue to deliver outstanding growth. This one, you're saying the big catalyst is the volume through the KIDZ ad network. Let's talk about how that volume was in Q1 and whether you guys were happy with the 47% growth or it exceeded your expectations.
Sure. Thanks. No, I mean, it was a great quarter for us. I mean, coming off just an incredible quarter in Q4 21, it was nice to maintain a good, chunk of that momentum into what is typically a lighter time for advertisers. But we were really pleased. We had a lot of great deals on. So many advertisers are happy and returning, and they understand that Kidoz technology and inventory and systems is the best way for them to reach their customers and to build awareness. This is in our brand business, the brand advertising that we do with amazing leaders and companies that take the rules, policies, and regulations seriously on how to reach kids in a digital world compliantly, and they're amazing partners. What was also exciting for us is so two of our new business units that we're investing heavily in, the performance business and the programmatic business, are both showing really great fruits at this point and beginning to have a meaningful impact in the growth of the business.
And in fact, Q1 could have been even bigger, but for investments you made in the performance and programmatic growth side.
Sure.
Let's talk about. But that's a good thing, right? You took away some growth from today in order to invest in more growth. Let's talk about what kinds of investments you were making and what expectations you have from both of those.
Sure. So, I mean, we're always pushing, the revenue as much as we can. It's one of our main North Stars internally. For the investments, took a hit probably on a bit more on the cost side and the margin side, which we as a management team decided was the correct route. And so those costs came in the form of, some strategic hires that we made, both technically and operationally, and also just taking a bit more risk in the optimization strategies that we're using on these campaigns. It becomes very kind of like you're operating at a high volume. You're trying to run impressions through the system for a particular client to generate installs on the performance business, and the margins can get thinner when you're really pushing it and you're experimenting. And so that's what we were doing. But we've learned a huge amount about both the algorithms that we're using and the techniques that we need to use to grow that business without sacrificing the margin. And so those are now in place, and we're going to see, in my opinion, some steady improvements. And our target is really a 40% gross margin. And that's where we hope to be for Q2 and certainly Q3, Q4 as we get into the really heavy quarters of this business.
And for investors at home who don't know, maybe just run them through programmatic, what that means, because there are going to be a lot of people tuning in who are watching.
No, it's a great idea.
What
No,
programmatic
great idea.
advertising is.
Of course. So, I mean, so Kidoz is running, I'll just start at the top, 3 business units. So we have our brand business, which is working with the Disneys and Legos and Mattels of the world who are bringing new products to market and are building awareness. So they're building their brand campaigns and they're running videos and interactive ads on the Kidoz network. That's our brand business, and that is growing nicely, both reputationally and at the low level dollar value through the pipes. So that is great. And then the 2 newer units is performance, which is essentially in the name, we're generating app installs. So it's an install business. We get campaigns from other app owners. They have a particular price that they want to run installs through, and we run them for them. And this is an enormous business segment. So the app install business globally is about $100 billion business today, and is owned and operated by some of the largest mobile networks like the Iron Sources and AppLovin of the world, who've done an incredible job championing this area. And Kidoz is investing in technology and the operational skills to be a leader. And we've found a really nice spot within the family segment. So there are a ton of apps that are applicable to our traffic, including educational apps and streaming apps and all sorts of things that
so if I've got the GeorgeCom app and I want to try and get into the hands of as many people as possible, my target market, I go through Kidoz and I'm paying for performance. So with every app install, I'm paying you a higher amount than I would for straight advertising for that.
Yeah, I mean, you give me a target and we work to it. You say, look, Jason, we're after 10,000 installs this month, and my price that I need to hit is kind of say $4 per install, and then we'll optimize and run and try and hit your target. And it takes a lot of tools and proper technology and great reach, and that's what we do. We deliver.
Yeah, because you're not spraying and praying. You put some science behind it. You're not saying, all right, George, we'll just spam your app to as many people as we can and hope for the best. You're actually applying real science behind as to who should target, when you should target them. That's right. And the programmatic side, just for people to understand that as well.
Of course. So the programmatic area is takes heavy technical investments and a lot of business development kind of relations as well. And so essentially what we're doing here is, instead of doing a sales deal with a brand or a performance client to bring in that deal, we are sourcing campaigns from the open exchanges, the open market in the advertising technology. So we connect to leading exchanges, and our technology then pulls ads off of the exchanges. And then we use systems to ensure that they're safe and relevant for our market, of course. And then we run them. And so there's a whole bunch of little steps here, a lot of technical signals being sent back and forth. And of course, we're fully compliant system following the Google and Apple rules for our KIDZ media. And so there are extra hurdles that we've had to kind of cover off. And now that we're at a point where it's really starting to work, I mean, just a few days ago, once another connection gets done and another technique gets done, we can see like meaningful upticks day to day in this business. And the opportunity is extremely large because the amount of available impressions is huge because of the reach of Kidoz. Because in any app, they're running often.
And so this will essentially help you fill inventory, right?
It helps us fill tons of inventory.
A big part of your inventory is full from Hasbro, Disney, and so on and so forth. But now you're looking to fill that remaining.
We want to fill as much as we can. Yeah, and that's like the global fill rate. I mean, in say the US or the UK can be high at certain times, but at other times it's not. And this is also, apps use multiple monetization tools from a number of networks at one time, up to, I know apps that use more than 10 at one time. And it's because no one, not even the biggest Googles, they can't fill every impression. There are impressions and it becomes a live market. But if you can find it and deliver it at the right time, then you get that slot and you make that money and you take that margin, and that's what it is. It's about it. I've said this before, but it is more true than ever, especially in programmatic, and that is that the software, as you iterate on it, it gets better and better, it gets smarter and smarter, it does more and more, and it's capable of making more money. And we've got an incredible team, and we're delivering what we need to make meaningful gains in this area.
And a lot of times in small cap, you hear talk like that, but it's just wishful thinking, hopeful thinking, big plan, but execution is still a big question mark. In your case, I already racked off the revenue growth year over year, so I'm not going to go through that again, but I'm going to reiterate the revenue guidance. I think this is the first time you guys ever given you revenue guidance. So full year 2022, you're expecting 19 to 21. Let's call it 20. Just take that big number. I mean, so you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk. You guys are doing the numbers, saying this is where I think we're going to go with all this.
Yeah, we felt that it's a high target, it's an aggressive target. It's it's something that we've said internally, and we wanted to set that goal for ourselves and really push for it. And we think that the way that the products are coming together and the traction that we're seeing in the market, that we can do it. It's certainly a challenge. Putting 60% growth on top of a record year is tricky, but we believe in what we're doing, and certainly it's within reach. If we can pull it off, we'll be thrilled.
And you're doing that adjusted EBITDA positive. So you're not
correct.
So sometimes you got businesses who are, making $1, but it's costing them $1.50.
Right.
So it's and we're seeing that, by the way, we'll talk about this in a second as a follow-up, but we're seeing that in the tech world now, where a lot of tech destruction has taken place because Forge.com Technologies has record revenue growth, but their losses dwarf their revenues, and that's a losing model. You're going to do it adjusted EBITDA positive, and that would be your third year in a row, right?
Yeah, we're chasing the third year in a row, and it's a wonderful feeling. And I actually get this. I've had this comment from some stakeholders recently that, wow, it's sure interesting to work with a high growth technology company that is actually profitable. Like, this is like close to unheard of. And so we're thrilled to be able to see our cash balance growing, our working capital growing. It definitely opens more opportunities for finding the right talent. And we're a very remote team, which is exciting too. So we have staff from all over the world. So it's really been great. And we've seen super high quality people coming in and getting really excited with what we have to offer at Kidoz. And so it's coming together nicely, and we're pleased.
Does this open the door for M&A, both you acquiring or potentially Kidoz now getting on the radar to be acquired? I mean, is it once you start getting that $20 million and profitable?
Yeah, I mean, I think that Kidoz is an interesting opportunity for companies. We being so unique in how we're servicing a particular extremely large but niche market makes it interesting. It's not like there are other companies that do what we do. And so from that perspective, it's interesting. We know that the ad tech business has been growing globally very quickly, and companies are getting in and they're looking at other opportunities. So I would say yes. I mean, we're an interesting company. We're a high growth company. We're profitable. We got a great team. Certainly in when bigger groups are looking to acquire, they're interested in the people as well, because they've got a lot of complex systems and they want to make sure that it's going to advance what they're doing and fit into their 3 to 5 year plan. And I think Kidoz would do that for probably a number of different groups. And on the
sorry, go ahead. Sorry,
I was just going to say, on the other side, of course, we'd be looking, but we've got our hands full as well with what we're doing, and we're pretty excited with how it's going.
Nice problem to have. And you're servicing, by the way, it's worth mentioning, or at least emphasizing, you're servicing a very difficult market to service, because
True.
you've got to have all those controls in place. This isn't just an ad network that can serve anything from
Right.
car ads to racy reality show ads, and you can just
True.
throw everything at it. You got to be really, really careful here. And not very
True.
many people are able to execute at the level that you're able to execute.
Yeah, I think that is one of the kind of USPs of the company, is that from the ground up, we built it without the data targeting and without the kind of, privacy first aspects. And so for any existing group that was built in the opposite way, they can kind of retro build, but it doesn't really fit the principles of their system design. And so it does make more sense in some ways to complement an existing system with one that was built ground up to service this extremely large market. I mean, there are numbers that I've seen that say up to 40% of all internet traffic is from kids. And so, you start to map out the market, total addressable market, from a 40% figure, and find maybe we downweighted a bit because their discretionary spending is different, but that's a huge number.
And that number, Jason, I would assume anecdotally is going to grow by leaps and bounds, by several magnitudes over the next 7-8 years, as more and more kids around the world get access to the internet. I mean, we now see that Elon Musk, through his StarNet, correct me if I'm, StarNet delivering, internet into places that just don't have it. So presumably this market for the next 10 years, is it unstoppable? Is it as unstoppable as I think it is in terms of growth?
Yeah, I mean, I think that both we're going to see, the accessibility and also just the enforcement and regulations become increasingly strict too, because data privacy is on that swing and it's not going to swing back anytime soon. People are more aware than ever and they're more concerned than ever. And, I think not only adults, but, kids in particular deserve that data privacy. And that's something that we provide, and it's not going to change for a long time. It's only going to get more stringent, and we're championing that in close partnership with amazing companies like the platforms themselves. And so that it's wonderful to be a certified partner of Google's, and we really treat it seriously, and that is taken seriously by our customers, and is reflected in the performance of the business.
Oh yeah, and they would punish you if you didn't, but clearly it's the opposite. They're rewarding you for actually, adhering to all that at the highest level. So yeah, when you look forward, you must think to yourself, wow, I mean, we could get acquired in a couple of years, but even if we don't, we got 10 years of runway minimum in front of you. Phenomenal market growth, addressable market.
I do feel that we're in a very strong place strategically and technically, and that is going to serve us well. One interesting way that I like to look at it too is, like, we see this incredible talk and growth around the metaverse, right? And the metaverse is important and interesting and expanding and valuable. But if we look at the metaverse players today, the strongest platforms, which I would say Roblox certainly, and we've got Minecraft and Fortnite, all of these are predominantly played by kids. So actually the metaverse is being developed by kids and not adults who have very little time to develop a metaverse. And so it's interesting that what we're betting on the future is actually being developed by a market which we reach more than anyone.
Last question for you. Tech stocks, as we all know, have been beaten up pretty good the last 3-4 months.
Sure.
You've got the likes of Netflix and Shopify that are down anywhere between 65 and 80%. You got Facebook at 50%. You've got Amazon, who is this, big behemoth with very little specific risk. They've got the whole market, and even they're down 33% or so in the last couple of months. So Kidoz not immune to this, but you've weathered the storm better than most. If we look at your performance starting January 1st to today, you've outperformed all of those names. What's your message to shareholders on that? Well,
I mean, starting with the market, we are pleased with how it's held up in an obviously a difficult environment. We given our great performance, we wish it were higher, but at the same time, the percentage that we're down compared to some of these incredible leaders is certainly something that we will take and we're pleased with. In terms of a message to shareholders, I can say that we're, thank you for coming on board. Please stay close, watch us grow, and we're not going anywhere. This story has so much more potential, and certainly we're in for the long haul to see where it's going to take us.
Yeah, and if I can add to that, Jason, I'm assuming you guys as a management team and as a board, yeah, as you said, you love to see a higher share price, but that wouldn't really matter today anyways, because you guys are at least a couple of years away from really hitting those big growth numbers, or 20 million, hopefully by the end of this year.
True.
If you do 60% again, that's going over 30 million. And by the way, I'm just extrapolating.
Sure.
That's when it really matters, right? In a couple of years when it's really going to matter. So even if the share price was higher today, it's not like you'd be exiting anytime soon.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously we have to listen to our investors about what comes to us in terms of opportunities, but we're just heads down, making the numbers as big as we can, delivering for our partners as best we can. And, at the end of the day, what comes from that is value for all of the investors. And, being a company like ours, where we're going to always protect our investors and being investors ourselves. And, but if the right deal comes along, then, so be it.
Yeah. But I thought it was important to have that conversation, because look, for everyone who watching or listening at home, my personal anecdote is I've been through this the fourth time I'm going through all this, where the market wipes out excess valuations for companies that don't deserve it. So, George Tech, big revenue, but even bigger losses, gets wiped out. And then companies like Kidoz, who are delivering real growth, profitable growth, they don't get nearly as washed out. But then when everything gets better and the all clear comes on, and there's no guarantee it's going to happen, so we're not giving financial advice, but the companies that are left standing are the ones that just get all the reward. So Kidoz, no doubt, is in that group. And today, Jason, congratulating you, Eldad, our good friend who's not on today,
absolutely.
The whole team, including Tarny, the whole team, for what you guys have delivered, and congratulations.
Thank you. And I know from them, they're incredibly excited, and everybody's focused and working hard to just deliver. And thanks for having me. Great to see you.
Hey, can't wait to have you back. Have a great day. In the meantime, for everybody at home, you've been watching, or if you've been listening by podcast on Spotify, Google, Apple, your favorite podcast platform, to Jason Williams, the CEO of Kidoz, trades in Canada, the stock symbol KIDZ. For our friends in the US, KDOZF. For those of you looking to start your due diligence, the two ways you do that is get to the company's profile page on Agoracom, because we know a lot of this is new to investors. What is, advertising platforms for kids and families? You're going to find all about it there. Great story summary. And then once you've got that under your belt, head right over to the Kidoz website, do your deep dive due diligence. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. See you next time.
Thank you very much.
Hey guys, this video is over, but don't forget to help your company by liking it and even leaving a comment below. And then don't forget to help yourself by subscribing to our channel and never missing another great Agoracom small cap video.